The final day, John F. Kennedy's last 24 hours. It is the morning of November 21st, 1963. The sun rises over Washington, D.C. as President John Fitzgerald Kennedy prepares for another day on the road, a political tour through Texas, a state he must win again if he hopes for a second term. He has just turned 46. His back aches from old war injuries, the pain hidden behind his familiar, easy charm. Yet this morning, he seems light-hearted. "We're going to have a good trip," he tells his secretary, Evelyn Lincoln. "Texas will be fine." The First Lady joins him, radiant in a rose-colored suit. Jacqueline Kennedy hasn't joined her husband on a trip in months, still mourning the death of their infant son, Patrick. But the president wants her with him. Texans love glamour, and she is the very image of it. At 8:45 a.m., the motorcade leaves the White House for Andrews Air Force Base. Aides, reporters, and Secret Service agents follow behind. His longtime aide Kenny O'Donnell remembers later, "He was in great spirits. He liked being out with the people again. He was tired of the politics back home, tired of the small fights in Washington." Kennedy climbs aboard Air Force One, waves once, and disappears inside. The jet engines roar to life, and the President of the United States heads for Texas. By 1 p.m., the plane lands at Kelly Air Force Base in San Antonio. Thousands line the fences, waving flags, cheering. Kennedy's arrival electrifies the air. His first stop is Brooke Army Medical Center to dedicate a new aerospace medical health center. He speaks about medicine, flight, and the future of space exploration, the same dream he declared at Rice University. "We choose to go to the moon." Reporters say he looks confident and vigorous, his smile bright as ever. Dave Powers would recall, "He was at the peak of his popularity. We all thought we were unstoppable." From San Antonio, the Kennedys fly to Houston. At the Houston Coliseum, Kennedy attends a dinner honoring Congressman Albert Thomas. He jokes, "I'm the man who accompanied Jackie Kennedy to Texas." Laughter fills the room. For that one night, politics seems almost easy again. By 10 p.m., Air Force One lands in Fort Worth. Rain drizzles softly as the motorcade pulls up to the Hotel Texas. Even in the downpour, a crowd waits outside. Kennedy steps onto the balcony, smiling and waving. "Thank you, Fort Worth," he calls out. "You're the best." Upstairs, in Suite 850, he meets with aides to review the next day's schedule. Breakfast, flight to Dallas, motorcade, lunch and speech at the Trade Mart. Simple plans, all routine. No one imagines they are planning the final day of his life. That night, Kennedy phones Senator George Smathers and Vice President Lyndon Johnson. They talk Texas politics, campaign plans, and prospects for 1964. At last, close to midnight, Kennedy ends the day in good spirits. He seemed relaxed, Powers said. None of us sensed what was coming. At 7:05 a.m., the president wakes early. Rain still streaks the window. He reads the Fort Worth Star-Telegram and smiles at the forecast. Thunderstorms ahead. "Huh, looks like we'll have to dodge a few clouds today," he jokes. By 7:55, he steps out onto the balcony again. Thousands cheer below despite the drizzle. "Good morning," he calls out. "There are no faint hearts in Fort Worth." The crowd roars. It is the last time he will greet the public in the open air. At 8:45, Kennedy gives his final public speech, a breakfast address to the Fort Worth Chamber of Commerce. He speaks of defense, science, and strength. "We are strong because we are free," he says, "and we intend to stay free." Applause fills the room. He ends with humor again. "I'm the man who accompanied Jackie Kennedy to Texas." Moments later, he returns upstairs, where Jackie is finishing her makeup. pinning on her navy pillbox hat. He pauses in the doorway. "You look wonderful," he says softly. "This is going to be a good day." Flight to Dallas. At 10 a.m., the President and First Lady board Air Force One for the short hop to Dallas. The rain has cleared. The Texas sky is open and blue. Aides in the cabin polish the draft of the luncheon speech, a call for peace and cooperation. At 11:37 a.m., the plane lands at Love Field. The cheering is deafening. Governor John Connally and his wife Nellie greet the Kennedys on the tarmac. A woman hands Jackie a bouquet of red roses, a vivid image soon to be immortalized in tragedy. Kennedy lingers, shaking hands, smiling for cameras. Secret Service agent Clint Hill watches carefully from the follow-up car. "He loved crowds," Hill said. "He couldn't help it. That's what made protecting him so hard." The motorcade assembles. Police motorcycles first, then the lead car, then the open-top Lincoln Continental carrying the President and First Lady, the Connollys, and 2 agents. Behind them the follow-up car, then the Vice President's vehicle. At 11:55 a.m., the procession rolls out toward downtown Dallas. Their destination, the Trade Mart, where Kennedy will deliver his final speech. The motorcade crowds line Main Street 6 and 7 deep. People wave flags and homemade signs. Children sit on their father's shoulders. Kennedy smiles and waves, his teeth flashing in the sun. "Dallas doesn't seem so hostile now," he says with a grin. Nellie Connally laughs. "You can't say the people here don't love you, Mr. President." Those are her last words to him. At 12:29 p.m., the motorcade turns onto Elm Street, entering Dealey Plaza. The Assassination. Then, a sound. A sharp, cracking noise. Some think it's a motorcycle backfire. Then another. The President jerks forward, hands rising to his throat. Governor Connally turns, then collapses, hit in the back. A third shot echoes, the fatal one. The President's head shatters. A cloud of red mist fills the air. "His head just exploded," said Agent Clint Hill. "I jumped off the car and ran." Hill sprints from the follow-up vehicle, vaults onto the trunk of the limousine and shields the First Lady as she crawls toward the back, reaching for what she has just lost. He pushes her down, covering both of them as the driver speeds away toward Parkland Memorial Hospital. The time? 12:30 p.m. Parkland Memorial Hospital. At 12:36, the limousine screeches into the emergency bay. Doctors rush forward. Kennedy lies motionless, blood pooling on the gurney. Jackie, her pink suit soaked in red, follows silently. Dr. Malcolm Perry and Dr. Kemp Clark begin emergency resuscitation. They cut open his shirt, insert tubes, fight to find a heartbeat. Perry would later say, "Sad, we did everything possible." But his wounds were beyond anything we could repair. Outside the trauma room, aides and agents pace in shock. Kenny O'Donnell leans against the wall, whispering prayers. Governor Connally fights for his life in another room. At 1 p.m., the chief surgeon steps out. His eyes are wet. The President is dead. Father Oscar Huber is summoned. He administers last rites. Jackie kneels beside her husband's body, strokes his hair and whispers, "I love you, Jack. I love you." The nation learns at 1:33 p.m. News flashes across the wires. Flash. President Kennedy seriously wounded by gunshot. 3 minutes later. Flash. President Kennedy dead. Television networks interrupt regular programming. In newsrooms, typewriters stop. In classrooms, teachers begin to cry. At CBS, Walter Cronkite removes his glasses to read the bulletin aloud. His voice cracks. From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official.
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
For a moment, the world holds its breath. Time itself seems to hesitate, as if unwilling to move forward without him. In that silence, an era ends, and a legend begins. History is filled with moments that changed the world in a heartbeat. If you want to keep exploring the stories behind those moments, the truth, the mystery, and the humanity, make sure to subscribe and join us for the next chapter of history.